You all know that the computer is the Antichrist, because if you take the letter A, that's 6, B is 12, C is 18, D is, and go all the way down. Just keep adding sixes. Start with A equals 6, go all the way down, and then spell the word computer out. Computer adds up to 666. So there you go. You got a computer, you're following the Antichrist. Of course, if you don't believe me, what runs your computer? RAM, random access memory. 6 letters, 6 letters, 6 letters. There you go. See, it could get real stupid, can't it? But that's not what it's talking about. This is the number of his name. Now, I remember coming up here one time, coming through Defiance, and there's Route 66, and it's connected Route 6. Yeah, I really watch that intersection, baby. Chapter 14, verse 9, the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, here's how gracious God is. He sends an angel, hey fellas, go tell them don't take the mark, okay? So he sends an angel with a loud voice. If any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without measure into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Thank God that somebody's going to be faithful to tell that. Well, we get to chapter 15. I told you we was going to get to chapter 16. We're almost there, aren't we? Y'all still with me? We're skipping a bunch, aren't we? I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God. Now, folks, we're well on toward the end. And here's what happens. We'll make these real quick, and then we're going to let you guys go. These 7 last plagues, chapter 16, all show up. Verse 2, the first went out, poured out his vial as a bowl. He poured out the vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome, grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, upon them which worshiped the image. Some have tried to explain that somehow, maybe by taking it, let's just say they took it in the form of a chip or something, that it would cause a reaction in the body and they'd have these sores. You know what? It doesn't matter. God says it's going to happen. It don't matter what it is. Well, of course, this is poured out as a form of judgment. Verse 3, the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. That's a direct act of God's judgment. The third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of water, and they became blood. You turn your sink on, and blood comes out. Literally, blood comes out. You say, John, blood? Yeah, blood. Just like in the book of Exodus, when the Nile River was turned to blood. Just like that. Just like blood. I mean, why do we have a problem with that? God did it before, God can do it. How many know God made water? How many know God made blood? If he wants to turn water into wine, don't you think he can turn water into blood? Oh, I don't know. Well, the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun. And when this happens, and I know I picked on Al Gore all night tonight. I don't know why I did that. I've never done that before. But Al Gore is going to say, I told you so. And here it is. And he poured out upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And the men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which had power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. Isn't that interesting? And incidentally, it's going to happen. There's going to be a massive heat wave. You know, the last couple of days here, it's got in the 90s, we're all complaining. It ain't nothing like it's going to be then. How it's going to happen, I don't know. but God's going to make sure it happens. Verse 10, the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues in pain and blasphemed the God of heaven because their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. You know, do you remember in the book of the book of Exodus, when God did that, he sent darkness on the land of Egypt, but it was completely light in the land of Goshen. How many know God can still do that? Verse 12, the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. Here we go again. We got the river Euphrates again. And the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east. Incidentally, there's China. Okay? There he is. And it really is. The kings of the east, everything east of Euphrates. Get your map out tonight or get online and look at Euphrates and look east of that. They're going to cross over. And guess what? They're going to come to a valley here in just a minute. And it says that they might be prepared. And what happens, the Euphrates River is dried up. And then verse 13, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, out of the mouth of the prophets. We've been introduced to these guys in chapter 12 and 13. We call it the unholy trinity. And here's what happens. And they are the spirits, these frogs, they come out of these three, and it says they're like frogs. And what they really are, they're spirits of devils. They're demons, and they're working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. And they gather them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. This is interesting, because we're almost to this point now, where the last battle is about ready to be fought, and it's being led, listen to this, saints, it's being led by demonic spirits, demon spirits that are working miracles and leading the kings of the earth to this place. And then there's the last time in the Bible we get a time of pause. And it's just found in one little verse. And the Lord just reminds those that are reading this, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And then we get to plague number 7. The seventh angel poured out his vial, his bowl in the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne saying, it is done. And there was voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was such great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. You know, California's been waiting for the big one. It finally comes.